Ever look at a map of the world and just wonder, why? Why is this city here? Why is this region wealthy while that one isn't? Well, today we're going to go hunting for the ghosts on that map. These are the ancient paths and the old decisions that are, believe it or not, still shaping our world today. Okay, let's get into it. So just look at this, the Earth at night. It's absolutely beautiful, right? But it's also a map of us. It's a map of human prosperity, and it's written in light. You can see these huge, brilliant clusters in places like Europe, North America, East Asia, but these bright spots aren't random at all. They're the result of thousands of years of history. Now, what if I told you that one of the brightest lines on this modern map is actually just an echo of a path that was first walked when the Roman Empire was still around? Yep, we're talking about the legendary Silk Road. For centuries, it was the planet's most important highway, linking entire civilizations, moving not just goods, but ideas and culture across continents. And the crazy part is, new research shows that its ghost is still with us, casting a glow so bright you can see it from space. To really get how that's even possible, we first need to understand this one fundamental force that has shaped, well, all of human history. And that force is our constant, unending battle with geography. You could say that all of human history is the story of us trying to conquer distance, trying to make our massive world feel just a little bit smaller. You know, geographers have a great term for this, the friction of distance. It's a really simple idea. The farther away something is, the more it costs, in time, in money, in effort, to get there. So every road we build, every ship we launch, every railway we lay down, it's all just an attempt to lower that friction, to make our world more connected. And wow, have we gotten good at it. I mean, think about it. In the 1500s, it took Magellan's crew over a year to sail around the globe. By the early 20th century, with steamships and trains, you could do it in maybe 2 months. And today, a jet will fly you around the entire planet in just a handful of hours. Our world has been shrinking dramatically. This whole phenomenon has a name, space/time convergence. It just means that as our technology gets better and better, the time it takes to cross any amount of space gets shorter. But here's the crucial thing. This isn't just about getting to your vacation faster. This process completely rewrites the rules for trade, for culture, for how we build our entire societies. And this shrinking didn't happen all at once. It came in these big waves. First, you had sail ships that opened up the entire globe to trade. Then came canals, which pushed that trade deep into the continents. Then railways stitched whole nations together. After that, highways gave us personal freedom and created the suburbs. And finally, airports created this truly global network where you're never more than a day away from almost anywhere. Each wave just built on top of the last one. But sometimes, an innovation comes along that doesn't just speed things up a little bit, it completely changes the game. These are the moments when we don't just reduce the friction of distance, we basically blast a tunnel straight through the mountain. A perfect example, the Panama Canal. Before it opened in 1914, if you were in a ship going from New York to San Francisco, you had to go all the way around the tip of South America. The canal just sliced right through the continent, cutting 13,000 kilometers off the trip. Just gone. It's the exact same story with the Suez Canal. It opened up a shortcut between Europe and Asia, so you didn't have to sail all the way around Africa anymore. For a ship going from London to Mumbai, the journey became 41% shorter. Instantly. Think about the savings in time and money. And you can really see that rewiring happen here. The old routes are those long, winding paths. Ships had to follow the shape of the land. But the new routes, the dark ones, are these aggressive, direct shortcuts. These canals didn't just offer a new option. They made the old way of doing things totally obsolete, overnight. And that is the really big consequence. Once these shortcuts are created, they create a permanent advantage. All the global traffic, all the money starts to funnel through these new corridors. The cities and ports along these new routes become incredibly powerful, while the ones on the old routes can just fade away. The world's economic map was redrawn, which brings us all the way back to our original mystery. How on earth can a 2,000-year-old network of trails that are basically dust now still have the power to shape our world? Well, with what we know now, we can actually understand why. Okay, get this. This is the jaw-dropping finding from a recent study. Researchers took those satellite images of lights at night, our prosperity map from the beginning, and they compared the areas right along the ancient Silk Road to the areas nearby. The result? The path of the Silk Road is, on average, more than twice as bright. 2 millennia later, it is still a corridor of concentrated economic life. It's unbelievable. So, what does that brightness actually mean for the people living there? Well, the data shows that communities along that old route tend to have higher rates of education. They've also moved away from farming and more toward modern manufacturing jobs. The legacy is real. It's one of greater opportunity. But why? Why does an advantage like that stick around for so long? Well, the answer is this powerful idea called path dependency. It sounds complex, but it's actually super simple. It just means that where we're going is heavily determined by where we've been. Once a path gets established, like a trade route, we build things around it. We build cities, markets, and infrastructure. It becomes the easiest option, which just makes it even more important. It becomes almost impossible to change course, locking us into that original path. So the crucial takeaway here is that the Silk Road wasn't just a road. It was a whole ecosystem. Cities and markets popped up along the way to serve the traders. These places became hubs of commerce and knowledge and innovation. So even after the camel caravans stopped, those cities and those networks were still there. They had a massive head start that just compounded over the centuries, locking in a pattern of development that we can literally still see from space today. This whole idea of persistence, of history having this incredibly long shadow, has some huge implications. It forces us to ask a really important question. What kinds of permanent advantages and disadvantages are we building into the map right now?
And you can see this exact same logic playing out today on a global scale. Just look at China's Belt and Road Initiative. It's basically the Silk Road 2.0. It's about reducing the friction of distance, but instead of moving silk and spices, it's moving shipping containers full of electronics. And instead of just spreading culture, it's spreading economic and political influence, connecting entire economies into a vast new network.
Seeing these ancient patterns repeat themselves right for our eyes leaves us with one last kind of mind-bending question. The highways we're paving, the high-speed rail lines we're laying, the fiber optic cables we're stretching across the ocean floor, these are the Silk Roads of our time. They're creating new shortcuts, new corridors of power, and new patterns of wealth. And you can bet that just like those ancient trails, their ghosts will probably be visible from space, shaping the world map for thousands of years to come. What do you think that map is going to look like?